How did you get in here?
I sneaked past the guards. Shh. Well, you're probably wondering why I would come back here and risk the wrath of Duncan again.
No, I wasn't wondering that at all.
But I just have to find out what it is that he's so afraid that I'm going to find out. You see, I saw the look in his eyes before, and despite all the insults and everything, it was sheer panic.
Who commissioned that portrait? And why would Duncan want a portrait of you?
Well, Isabella, are you all right? You look...
The devil is taking so long.
Oh, darling, these flowers are so pretty.
Aren't they? Yes. I just hope my father and Margot likes them. Well, just imagine, in a few hours they're going to be home. Yeah. And then the three of us can start becoming a family again.
Yes, that's true. And there are a lot of changes. You have to realize that. Things for the best, of course.
Does this have anything to do with my father's surprise?
It might. It just might.
Andy's here, too. He's parking the car.
Okay.
Hi.
You want some help with those bags, Aunt Kim?
Oh, thanks. No, it's just a few things I brought for Tom and Margot. I'll put them up in their room in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, no, I still haven't taken my things out of their bedroom so that they
Hey,
can...
I'll help you. No problem.
Hello. How are you?
Hi, Andy. How you doing?
Good. Oh, you look like you're in a lousy mood.
No, I'm in a wonderful mood.
I'm just kidding. Don't you know when I'm kidding, Leanne?
No, I guess not.
So what can I do to help?
Well, I'm gonna go help Leanne clean up Tom and Margot's room, so...
Yes,
right?
and we can always use an extra pair of strong arms.
Okay, lead the way.
So anyway, I brought a few of Christopher's things over. I thought maybe it would be helpful. I didn't know how much Margot would be bringing home from Greece.
Oh, that's a great idea. She'll be thrilled.
I just can't help but wonder, have Margot and Tom done the right thing? It's just so hard to keep the secret from Leanne.
You know, Bob and I were talking about the same thing. We've just had enough secrets around here to last a lifetime.
You know, for chief of staff, John, you're not half bad as a waiter.
Yeah, if you ever need a job, come see me at the Mona Lisa.
Thanks, boys. I'll remember that.
This has got to be the longest christening party ever.
Got to be the longest ever water.
Don't you think it'd be a better idea if I were to call ahead to the cottage, make sure it's empty, you two can get some rest?
I don't want you to do that, John. I want to see Leanne and everybody else I've missed for so long.
We're just going to say a quick hello and everybody's going to leave. I want to talk to Leanne anyway. Thanks.
What are you thinking about?
Well, same thing you are, I imagine. Beginning a brand new life together.
Beginning a lie.
Please, just be positive. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, okay?
Award-winning As the World Turns. This portion brought to you today by doctor-recommended natural fiber Metamucil, and you could be regular for the rest of your life.
Bloody hell, what is this? Your idea of some kind of joke?
It's no joke, I assure you.
What on earth would make you think I'd ever want a portrait of you?
What?
Now, I've asked you once to leave this island and leave me and my guests in peace, but no, you insist on sneaking around here and harassing us. Well, I suppose I'll have to personally show you to the dock and wait there until you...
Bound orangutan!
Scottish! Oh, Teresa, thank God, reinforcements. Would you stay with our guest while I escort Miss O'Hara to the dock once and for all? And would you take that portrait and wrap it up and send it back to her as soon as possible?
I don't want it. I loathe the bloody thing.
Well, fine. Then I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take it and burn it.
Can I be of assistance?
Aye, thank you. Ah, great. Would you escort Miss O'Hara down to the dock and wait there until she's completely out of sight? And then tell the guards if she comes back to shoot her on sight.
Shooting's too good for you.
Well, I'm sorry you had to witness that little scene.
All right, Duncan, I think it's time you admitted your association with Miss O'Hara is slightly more than decorative.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Teresa, why are you just standing there? I asked you to wrap up that portrait and get it out of here, please.
Yes, sir.
Just a moment. Colin Crowley painted this.
Just what do you think you're doing?
It was painted in this room, wasn't it? the portrait that belonged on that easel, didn't it? Didn't it?
Lilith, please, calm
Don't you
yourself.
touch me. I am not a patient in Silvestri Sanitarium anymore. I will not put up with sadistic administrations. I am a free woman, and I have the right to know, and I demand to know the truth from my husband, who has been free to philander about the world while I have been locked away. Now, you tell me. I guessed right, didn't I? Miss O'Hara was your mistress, was she not?
Of course not. Shannon is involved with Tom Hughes. He's the district attorney.
No, Duncan, you're lying. I can see it in your eyes.
Boy, what a day. All I could think of was Tom and Margot coming home.
Oh, I know. That certainly has been on my mind, too. So many things to think about.
Listen, I know that everybody would like to have things clarified about them, but their first night home, why don't we just say a quick hello and just leave them, you know, so they can settle down with the new baby?
I agree.
Yeah.
Leanne still doesn't know?
No, she doesn't. I can't tell you how many times I've almost slipped up and told her. It's just been... It's so difficult.
Hey! I have not seen enough of my #1 grandchild lately.
Don't you mean your only grandchild?
Right. Yeah. But that doesn't change my feelings.
Is there anything more substantial besides pretzels?
Oh, the bottomless pit, he speaks.
Well, it just so happened that I stocked the refrigerator to overflowing, so go help yourself.
Are you sure I can construct myself a substantial sandwich?
Yes, I'm sure. I'll make a mess.
Any idea when they're due to arrive?
Ah, Craig called from the Jets, and he said they'd be in about 7, 8 tonight.
Oh, really? Hal called earlier, and he wanted to know, but of course I had no idea.
Well, I hope Barbara and Hal aren't going to the airport.
I don't know, he didn't say, but would there be anything wrong if they did?
No, nothing. It's just when I last spoke to Margot, she had talked to Hal, and he had suggested going to the airport, but Tom and Margot vetoed the whole idea. They wanted to be with families.
I think it's a good idea. You should get some rest, too, lady. Don't forget, you're not the only one having a baby.
Who else is having a baby?
Well, Meg Reyes. Go ahead. Get yourself something to eat out of the refrigerator.
Oh, phone. Hello, here's residence. Oh, hello, Hal. We were just talking about you.
Have you noticed the closer we get to home, the bigger this whole situation seems to get?
I realized that formulating this plan way over in Greece was a lot easier than it's going to be carrying it out.
Thank you.
What for?
For the honest answer.
That's the only way we're going to get through this.
Hey, children, I just got a glimpse of the Boston skyline. Come on,
Let's take a look, huh?
Adam, my boy, I know you're asleep, but that's your Grandpa Casey's house. There's your Aunt Franny, that big redhead down there, and all those little kids down there. Those are your cousins.
Anybody know what the flight plan is?
Yeah, the pilot says he wants to shoot right down the coast of New York, customs, and refueling.
Then straight into Oakdale.
Well, I'm delighted that you like my line well enough to want an exclusive contract, Edward. Absolutely. I'll have things packed up and shipped out immediately. Tell me, what do you hear about Simply Barbara? Well, I know that Annette Pearl is designing... Really? Well, nothing could make me happier. I'm delighted. I love you, too. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
I love you, too?
Well, hi.
Huh?
Hi. Aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
No. Don't change the subject. You love who, too?
This New York buyer,
What?
who happens to be 60 years old, is about 300 pounds and as bald as a watermelon.
Now, I'm really jealous. Don't torture me. Listen, I talked to Roy. I asked him if he wanted to have dinner with us sometime next week. I hope that's okay.
Oh, sure. I don't know why not.
Yeah, Jessica went to Egypt on some sort of business for Duncan, and Roy is pretty low.
What kind of business for Duncan?
No idea. She did, however, pass along a tip from Duncan that James could be somewhere over there.
What?
Just
Don't be alarmed. It's just a tip at
How
this
does
point.
Duncan know anything about James?
All I know is that Duncan was talking to a friend of his over there who gave him the tip. Duncan passed it along to Jessica. Jessica told Mac. Mac told me.
It never ends, does it? It never ends. There's always a reminder.
Hey, I promise you, one of these days, he's going to be behind bars. Hey, how about going out for dinner tonight? Maybe go over to Tom and Margot's later?
No, I've got to work late.
Where's Hank?
Oh, I gave Hank an extra few days off to be with Charles since he worked so hard while I was in New York.
You know, it's funny. A few days ago, I would have been sure that Hank had gone to New York to follow Iva. And now?
So, tell me, what are you going to do for dinner?
I don't know. How about take out here, huh?
What about Margot's homecoming?
I think Margot's homecoming can wait till I have dinner with my beautiful and very talented wife.
Oh, I like that.
You make me feel so good.
Oh, good. You make me feel young again. To be hanging out with you, to be riding with you, having fun with you.
It was fun. It is fun. But
yes.
You have to remember, I'm just trying to accept the fact that it may be over for me and
Oh, I'm
after
sorry.
all this
I'm
time.
so insensitive. Forgive me. What can I do? I'm so sorry.
Nothing. Like I said, the next move has to be his. And he's having such a wonderful time in the South with Angel that he's too busy to make one at this time.
Pussycat, how are we doing? Are we doing all right? Can I be frank and candid with you?
Of course. What?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to say something and you won't like the sound of it. On the other hand, you might, because you can take consolation.
What?
In the fact that it's all my fault. Because I spoiled you.
Oh, okay, all right. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
Iva said the same thing to me in New York.
You are wonderful and you're growing in many ways, but my darling girl, when Lily doesn't get what Lily wants...
Lily runs. I know.
Yeah.
It's not an easy habit to break. But I'm trying.
Okay, Pussycat, good. You got it, you know? My kid, and if you want that boy, if you want him, you fight for him. Fight for him. Don't fly, not even mentally. I bet little Angel is a good fighter.
Maybe that's Holden.
Okay. Yes.
Is it Holden?
No, Kirk. What? Does Lily know anything further about Iva and her meeting with Jared Carpenter?
No.
No. Why?
I'm sorry for rambling on so, but, well, lying here, going over all the bits of my life the last few weeks, I've thought more and more of Luther's Corners and your parents. And a very difficult but joyful time in Carolyn's and my young life.
I want you to know that I only learned who you were a few weeks ago, and then I had this uncontrollable desire to find out who you were. Only to learn that your wife had died.
How thrilled she would have been to see you. Bless you for taking all the trouble to find me. How did you manage that, anyway?
Well, I'm ashamed to say that I had to hire a private detective.
Ashamed? Why? I admire you all the more. Forgive me for ignoring you two, but this is a very special moment.
We could tell. Father, I really think that you've talked enough for now. And you mustn't exhaust yourself.
Nonsense. I feel better than I felt for weeks. And I have you to thank for it, too, young lady. Who knows? I may live to be 100. Disappoint all those expensive doctors.
I certainly hope so.
I suppose this doesn't make much sense to you, Lenore.
Well, no, Uncle Jared, but...
I'll explain it all to you later, after Miss Snyder leaves.
I don't want her going anywhere till she has to. Lenore. This is something your Aunt Caroline and I shared with Liz and Howard just before she died. And since you're like a daughter to me, I'd like you to know it as well. I trust you'll be discreet.
Of course, Uncle Jared.
There was a time, shortly after Carolyn and I were married, when we decided to strike out on our own, turn our backs on the pressures of the family business I was supposed to take over. I guess you could call it a form of youthful rebellion before that became popular. Anyway, we headed out to the Midwest, bought a lovely little farm in Illinois, and with money we'd saved from wedding presents. And with little more than the clothes on our backs, we moved out there. Never told the family where we were or the hardships we endured. And we never talked about our backgrounds to the lovely new people we met, including Iva's parents, Emma and Harvey Snyder.
And you kept the story to yourselves all these years?
Well, it wasn't something we could talk about. It was very painful. It was a time of hardship and failure. We lost the farm because we hadn't the faintest idea what we were doing, even though the Snyders, who were struggling as much as we were, helped us all they could.
Daddy, I still don't understand why you didn't turn to the family.
Oh, call it pride, determination, downright stubbornness. Anyway, Carolyn got pregnant, gave birth to a little girl, at a time when we could hardly feed ourselves, much less care for a helpless infant. So we talked it over, and we wound up making a decision that we both deeply regretted after. See, we were trying to save the farm, and we wanted to save our daughter from the same hardships we were suffering. So we gave her up for adoption to the Snyders. It was a decision you could only understand and forgive if you stress how young and frightened we both were. We had no experience in dealing with poverty. Iva, I hope you believe that.
I do.
Then you're...
That's right. I was our firstborn. A child I'd given up hope of ever knowing.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that's the best you can do? Well, that's great. That's just great. So in other words, this whole phone call has been a total waste of time. Wait, say it again? All right, fine. I'll be sure to say the same thing to you when you're in a jam, which will probably be next week sometime, considering your track record. Idiots!
Carpenter residence?
Yes. Is Iva Snyder there by any chance?
Yes, she is.
It's very urgent that I speak with her.
Whom shall I say is calling?
Her brother Seth.
What an incredible story.
Miss Snyder, I don't mean to be rude, but my father does need to get his rest, so I'm afraid I will have to ask you to leave.
I won't hear of it. Iva, how long can you stay?
Well, I am in New York on business. I have a hotel room, and
You must stay here with us, I insist.
Oh, Daddy, I don't think that... Excuse me, sir. There's a telephone call from Miss Snyder.
Who is it?
Your brother, Seth. You can take it in the library.
No need for that. She could take it in here. Unless you'd rather have some privacy.
Oh, no, that won't be necessary.
There's a telephone right over here.
Yeah, I know what business she's here on. Trying to get her share of the inheritance.
Oh, I can't believe that. Liz, she seems genuinely sincere.
Why did you do that?
I didn't want to use my own name.
Why?
Look, I didn't tell you this before, but I had some unfortunate business dealings with Jared Carpenter a few years ago, and my name's been anathema to the family ever since. I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't mention the fact that you know who I am or where I am.
I don't understand.
Look, I'll explain it all to you later when I see you. Are you going to be back in your hotel tonight?
I plan to. Why?
Well, I'll give you a call there later, okay? And please, just don't mention that you know me. It could even cost me my job here, all right?
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Daddy, it's almost time for your broth.
Won't you at least stay for dinner so we can talk a little bit more?
Only if I can have it in here with you.
You heard the lady, Mrs. Daniels. Tell Dorothy to fix our guest anything she wants. What'll it be? Filet mignon, roast pheasant? You just name it.
Teresa, can you hurry and finish wrapping up?
Well, I am going as fast as I can,
Fine.
Duncan.
Where's Lilith?
She's changing out of the shoes I loaned her since it's too late for a walk.
What about Shannon?
I put her in a boat, and I waited till I was sure she didn't instruct the boatman to turn around. I gave the guards orders to keep her off the island, but not to shoot on sight, as you told me. I felt sure that was an exaggeration for Lilith's benefit.
I'm only trying to protect Shannon from the very real danger that Lilith still could represent. Unfortunately, every time she sees me, she seems to hate me more.
You know, I saw a glint of the old Lilith after she saw this portrait. Pure psychopathic jealousy. I mean, even if it was only for an instant.
I'm less certain than ever that she was truly cured by Dr. Silvestri.
If only we could find that manuscript of his.
You know, Duncan, I think you went too far by saying that Shannon is involved with Tom Hughes. What if Lilith checks it out?
I'll find a way to cover. I want you two to keep an eye on Lilith, see if you can spot the telltale signs of her illness. That's what you're trained to do. I'm too emotionally involved. Every time I look at her, I think of the horrors of our wedding night.
Duncan, before Lilith returns, I must warn you. If she's not truly well and tries to lure you into a sexual situation, you could be in the same danger you were on your wedding night.
There's no danger of that. My attraction for Lilith is as dead as Dr. Silvestri.
I found this in the back of the closet behind some other women's clothes. I thought I'd make myself more comfortable for dinner or whatever else you might have in mind for afterwards, Duncan, darling.
Shannon, I told you that you were just letting yourself in for a heartbreak, really.
Do you know that he actually said that if I came on the island again, he would have me shot on sight?
What? Oh, he's really gone off the beam.
Oh, he's a disgusting, sex-crazed pig. You know, he's after Isabella now, right under Teresa's nose. I think Isabella's even moved into the castle.
Well, I do hope the poor woman knows what she's getting in for.
You know, she's a bit of a queer duck herself. She can be terribly adorable, and then the next minute she has this wild look in her eye. Well, maybe Duncan's finally met his match.
Okay. Now, I just hope you get yourself together now before the rest of the people get here, okay?
I will. I'm not about to spoil Tom and Margot's homecoming.
All right.
Well, is there any more news on what the big secret is?
Yes. I was going to tell you about this at the penthouse, but then we didn't have a chance, so now we have a chance. You see, when Tom went over to Greece, and he saw...
No Shannon!
Oh,
hey, hi! Oh, boy! I missed you.
I missed you, too. How's school?
Well, I'm having some problems with American history and my teacher, but no, I don't want anything to spoil my father and Margot's homecoming, so please don't say anything to them, okay?
I can't believe we got through customs so fast.
Well, having 2 doctors and a baby with a birth certificate certainly helped.
Well, that's right. Adam's a full-fledged American citizen now. And he is officially our son.
We'll
We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now, part 2 of As the World Turns.
Voila.
You do take good care of me, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I was just thinking about how I'd still be rotting away in Jennersville if you hadn't gotten me out.
Now, why would you want to waste your time thinking about the worst time in both our lives when everything is so great now?
You can't always control your memories.
I can. For me, they start the day I got you out of that hellhole. Now, let's eat this thing.
I was also thinking about the night that you and Paul brought me home. It was the same day that Margot left town.
You know, come to think of it, you're right, it was.
Oh, Tom was so jealous of you back then.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that's all behind us now, and Tom and I are friends again. Hopefully we'll stay that way.
And about the note that Margot left for Tom, saying that one of the reasons that she left was because that she had unresolved feelings for you.
Sweetheart, why are you dredging up all this ancient history?
Because I haven't seen Margot since she came to see me in prison, and then just a couple of days after that, she left town.
So you'll find any old differences that you may have, you'll bury them like Tom and I did. Now, can we please eat this incredibly expensive dinner before it gets ice cold?
I forgot to give you some cash for that. I've got petty cash down here.
I don't want money. I was kidding.
No. Come on. That's what this is for. No
You know,
problem.
it's hard enough being a detective married to a successful businesswoman without her picking up the dinner tab.
Hello?
Hi, Mom, it's me.
Hi, honey. What's up?
Oh, not much. I'm over at Leanne's. I just wanted to let you know. I knew you'd be up burning the midnight oil.
Yeah, well, I am, but you shouldn't be. You have classes tomorrow.
I remember. Don't worry. Everybody decided they're going to leave shortly after Tom and Margot get back.
Yeah, well, it's probably a good idea. They'll be very tired from their long trip.
May I speak to the lad?
Hold on. Hal wants to talk to you.
Hey, Ace, how you doing? Good. Listen, you have any idea when the Hughes entourage is going to be arriving? Around 8, huh? Well, listen, your mother and I aren't going to be able to make it, so would you be sure to tell Margot that I love her and give her a big welcome home hug for me? Okay.
Rosa has outdone herself for you, my darling. It's just for you. This is a veritable feast, a movable feast.
I think this is left over from Spencer's lunch. I think Rosa has a crush on him.
Oh, I don't understand what you ladies see in that silent type.
That's because you spent all your time around Kirk, who's anything but.
You know that Kirk is smitten with Iva?
Yeah. You know, I'm beginning to like him more than I used to. Yet I don't understand him. I think that's why Iva's not sure how far it can go.
Nonsense, darling. For her, he's a great catch. He's a wonderful catch if you look at it from her point of view, because he's going to have a company of his own. My only hope is that it's not going to be my company.
Is that Rosa's cuisine I detect wafting through the nighttime air? I don't mind telling you, I'm as hungry as a wolf.
Hello, Kirk.
Hello?
Did I ask you to dinner?
No, but I'm going to ask you to sign these very urgent papers. Actually, I was hoping for a free meal with two lovely ladies before the esteemed Dr. Dixon arrived home.
Well, there's plenty there.
Really? Well, I was only kidding, but now you've twisted my arm, so what have we got?
Chimichangas.
Chimichangas.
Guacamole. Sour cream. Refried beans, you know. All that.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now, this looks great. Yeah, let me get a fork here. Boy, I'll tell you, Rosa should think about opening up her own restaurant. Do you want to save some of this for John? I don't want to take all of it.
Heavens, no. John loathes Mexican cooking.
Ah. Well, look, speaking of your hubby, I know you want to spend as much time with him as possible starting tonight. But I was just wondering if I could maybe take just tomorrow off for a personal emergency.
What?
Oh,
What do you mean just tomorrow?
No, I know I told you I'd cover for you. But I've been working up until now at the office to make sure that the whole office will run like clockwork without either of us there. Look, I promise, I will work weekends for the next 3 months if you'll let me do this, please.
What is it? Come on. What is this? Is it an emergency? I mean, is it why, where, what, where,
Well,
how?
I have to go back east.
To see Iva?
Please.
Or Adelaide Fitzgibbon?
No fair pumping. I'll tell you this. I think I can probably land that Woodbury account that we've been so desperate for. All right?
You got it.
Thank you. Oh, speaking of which, I have to make a phone call. I'll be right back. One of these, and one of these.
Help yourself, Kirk.
Thank you.
You know, I think Kirk really could take over your business if he wanted to.
Do you want some of my dessert?
I love it, but it's not on my diet.
You know, I am no doctor, but I work in a hospital, and I have never heard that fresh fruit can hurt anything.
So many doctors giving orders, and they all contradict one another.
Have you ever thought of just having one very good specialist?
They're all specialists. They just disagree.
I don't know, Mama is a firm believer that fresh fruits and vegetables can cure just about anything.
Thank you. I remember Emma. A lovely young woman.
She still is. She's very beautiful. She had a heart problem, oh, it's about a year ago, I guess, but she's doing fine now, thanks to regular exercise, a good diet, and lots of fresh fruit.
You, call yourself Miss. I assume you've never married.
No. No, but I have a daughter named Lily.
But you're not old enough to...
Well, it's a long story. I'll tell you tomorrow.
Ivor, can't you stay for a few days? We've got so much catching up to do.
Look, I want to make this clear to you. I just came here just to, I don't know, get to know you a little. I'm not trying to make up for lost years. I think that's a big mistake.
I see you've got Emma's good common sense.
Well, I hope so.
I wish you could have known Carolyn.
Yeah, so do I.
Daddy, I really must insist now. You need your rest.
My goodness, sir. You cleaned your tray for the first time in months.
This young lady's responsible for that.
Daddy, you didn't eat fruit, did you? It's not on your diet.
Diet or not, I enjoyed it completely.
Liz, I really can't imagine fresh fruit being bad for you.
Neither can I. I really should be going.
Remember, you promised to come back for a long visit tomorrow.
Oh, Daddy, you really mustn't overdo things, and I'm sure that Miss Snyder would understand
she's a tonic to me. I feel better than I've felt for months. Matter of fact, I feel so good I may live long enough to make a trip out to Luther's Corners. One of these days, Lord knows Carolyn and I talked about it often enough.
Well, I'm gonna hold you to that then, all right? I'm gonna say goodnight now.
Good night, daughter. Thank you for giving me something to live for. How about a kiss?
Sure.
It looks lovely, Tobias. So much warmer in here than in that drafty dining room. And I'm sure Duncan remembers how warm and cozy I like things to be, don't you, darling?
Aye, I remember.
I'll tell Cook you're ready for dinner.
Thank you, Teresa.
Will there be anything else, sir?
No, Tobias, thank you, not for now.
I wonder how many other intimate dinners you've shared with women since moving your ancestral castle to Oakdale.
Well, Lilith, I really don't see the point.
Do you and Shannon dine here often by candlelight?
I don't know why you insist in fantasizing about some romantic situation between me and my ex-decorator. In fact, I wish you'd consider dismissing her as your decorator as well.
No, darling. Not until after I found out a great deal more about her.
Why don't we sit down?
No, I'm not ready yet. Do you know, I have forgotten how truly male you are and how much you excite me. I'm looking forward to us getting to know each other all over again.
Oh, Lilith, I think that's another fantasy on your part. I mean, we both have to realize we've gone far beyond what first brought us together.
Are you suggesting that we get a divorce?
No, I just think we have to realize that it's probably too late to pick up what we felt 12 years ago.
Darling, I disagree. I've just told you how attractive I find you. And I saw your eyes when I walked in here in this robe.
Shannon. Hi. Hi. You know, I've really enjoyed our time together. And I'm really afraid that that will all change now.
Oh, it doesn't have to. You and I are very good friends, and we always will be.
I hope so. You know, there have been so many changes in my life.
Well, change is what makes life exciting, right? I mean, it's boring when things are the same all the time, don't you think? You mustn't be afraid of it.
Hello.
Mom, hi, it's me.
Oh, Tommy, where are you?
I'm at the Oakdale airport. Craig's getting us a cab, but John's heading straight home. So listen, when we get to the house, it's going to be Casey, Craig, Margot, and me, okay?
Darling, that's wonderful. We'll just stay long enough to say hello, and then we're going to leave you to your privacy.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. Margot and I are pretty beat. Mom, I need a favor. Try to keep Leanne in the backyard area or the patio or something. I don't want her to see the baby straight off. I want to explain it to her first.
Oh, of course, Tom. I'll take care of that. Don't you worry about a thing. Hurry home. He's on his way.
Yeah.
Oh. I feel like I'm going to explode. I think I'm going to try to walk off some of the guacamole. Go down to the stables. See how Spence is doing.
That'll make his day. Really will.
Okay.
Oh, well, speaking of which, I think I better drag myself out of here, too. Thanks for dinner, and thank you again for tomorrow.
Well, you made such a good case. A person could do nothing but what she did. I don't exactly understand how Iva figures into your things.
All right, I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly what's going on. I have this very strong feeling, always have had, that Hank Elliott is my chief competition where Iva's concerned, even though Iva keeps denying it.
Hmm? You do?
Yeah. Well, so anyway, I called Barbara's loft, and I found out that Elliott was in New York.
Uh-huh.
And even though I've got the detectives who traced Jared Carpenter doing a background check on him as well, I wanted to see with my own eyes if they're seeing each other in New York.
Formidable. You're a chilling fellow. I'm glad you're not in love with me.
Who says I'm not?
I'm glad you have a sense of humor. I appreciate that.
Well, thanks again for tomorrow.
Okay. Bring back the bacon.
Yeah, we'll try.
Hey, isn't this just where I left you guys 2 weeks ago?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
What are you working on over there?
I'm trying to work on some reports that Mac has really been bugging me about. Margot used to do this stuff for me.
Have I told you how much I adore you?
No, you haven't.
I do. I do. And I'm sorry that I was trying to insist on paying for dinner. It was very insensitive of me. I just hope you know that everything I work for is for you and for Paul.
I do know that. It's just that things get so sticky down at the station. I mean, the guys know how much a detective makes, and they look at this high lifestyle of ours, and...
I just don't want there ever to be anything that we can't share. And I know there's nothing we can't get through.
It's gonna hold you to that. Boy, I wonder if Tom and Margot are home yet.
I've made arrangements. Jimmy's going to bring up a beautiful buffet dinner to the penthouse, and he will be there in about a half an hour. That's going to give us time just to say hello and goodbye and leave Margot and Tom to their privacy.
Aye, aye, Captain. You can see who's in charge here.
Now, listen, I know, look, Shannon, you have been, you're the hostess here. Go answer the door. Everybody to the living room. No, sweetheart, no, you stay right here with me.
Why are we staying out here?
Because we don't want to overwhelm Tom so much, seeing everyone he loves all at once.
We gotta do whatever we can to support Tom and Mark.
Yeah, I know. It's too late to back out now.
Hi!
Hey.
Hi! Where are Tom and...
Hi, Shannon.
Now, darling, I know your father's going to come straight out here, and then that'll give us a chance to be the first ones to really talk with him. It's better this way. Here he comes. What did I tell you?
Mother. Oh, I missed you so much.
Oh, not as much as I missed you.
Darling, I'm so glad you're safely home. Now, listen, I'm going to leave the two of you out here so you talk with your daughter, okay?
I didn't understand why she wanted us to wait out here, but I'm really glad I did, because now I have you all to myself. And,
I believe that you have gotten prettier while I was away.
oh, Father.
Listen, there's something I have to explain to you. It has to do with the surprise I mentioned on the phone.
Well, whatever it is, it seems to make you very happy.
It does. Now, you know how much Margot and I wanted a child of our own.
Yes?
This may be hard for you to accept all at once, but when Margot ran off, she was pregnant, and you have a new baby brother.
Margot had a baby?
Margot had a baby. Margot?
Hello, Leanne.
Hello, Margot.
You're gonna be that happy family I've always dreamed about.
This portion of As the World Turns has been brought to you by Tide. On some of your toughest laundry problems, Tide won't quit till your clothes come clean. Stay tuned for Guiding Light, next on most of these CBS stations. Accessories by R.J. Graziano. Join us tomorrow for As the World Turns.